So tell us, when did you start recording or start writing the songs in Beryl?
So it started like around February last year.
Yeah.
Which feels like so long ago, but not so long ago at the same time. Like, I've carried the songs with me through like the end of the summer in the UK, and then through my travels in Southeast Asia, and then to the present now here in New Zealand in late July.
Yeah.
But we started the writing and recording process in Feb last year, and then kind of wrote up until late August before I left the UK in early September. So it was kind of like meeting up with Eli in London at his and just jamming out like nearly every weekend for like several months, about 5 months. And I felt like at the time I was sacrificing my like social life because I wasn't going out as much in Bristol, which was like 2.5 hours away from London, and I was like working my week 50-60 hour weeks, then going straight to London and recording, and then getting a coach back to Bristol at like midnight on the Sunday nights to then go to work at like 7-8 in the morning on the Mondays. So it was a lot of strain on my like life and social life, but at the same time it was really motivating because each time me and Eli linked up, it was like we were just putting our heart and soul into what we were creating, and Eli on the production, myself writing the lyrics, and having some like real like input on the co-production of the album, and also Eli checking me on like some of the lyrics and hooks I was writing.
Yeah,
he was like pushing that and kind of getting that out of me, just through working collaboratively.
Yeah.
So, man, a real like symbiotic process, let's say.
Yo, big shout out to Eli. So is his artist name pronounced Elisha?
So his name is Elijah.
Yeah.
Spelled Elijah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, who's Elisha? Is that your girl? And I'm like, no, that's the bro, Eli, Elijah.
Yeah. Now, well, all those late nights and long days you were paying dues and back home in UK, Bristol, now it's manifested to here. You're talking about the album that you've just released. You're about to perform it tonight. Yeah, all the seeds that you've been sowing, brother, you've been reaping them.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And just coming back to what you're saying earlier about how, you're writing the songs beginning of February last year, but there was more, so you were carrying the feeling, I guess, throughout your entire life, and then it eventually manifested into poems, and then rap upon beats and instruments. So that's real cool to hear that you've sort of brought that out of you as time has gone by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then being an artist that's originally from UK, and then now you're sharing your music primarily here in New Zealand, and no doubt you've got listeners back home. Do you feel some sort of way of being alienated because you're not away, you're not in home, you're sort of away, you're in a new place?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like slightly alienated within the scene back home, and I guess the scene here too. I feel like the music that me and Eli have created is just like, I don't know, it feels like not of this world, but totally is of this world.
Yeah.
I feel like it breaks a lot of boundaries and constraints that we both of artists like may have found ourselves within the scene in the UK, trying to make music to fit a certain like niche underground hip hop scene or niche electronic underground scene.
Yeah.
But really it's just like something that we've created together, which feels new, feels fresh, and just finding a home for it all around the world ever so slowly.
Yo, well, I definitely do feel as though the words and the poems that you and Eli have produced, they definitely have found a home in me, in the sense that, I've been jamming out to your album, and I really do appreciate and resonate with the ideas that you're sharing, and it feels familiar to me, is what I'm saying. And I guess in that sense, as an artist, you wouldn't really feel alienated when the ideas and what you're about, the audience around you, they also resonate with that. Yeah. And I must say, just reiterating on camera, on record, that the ideas that Sam is sharing in his album Beryl is deep, it's profound, it's heartfelt, it's philosophical, it's not surface, it's well beyond the material. And it's sort of how I felt throughout most of your songs I listened to in the album, was you were touching on the most important thing, which is really our relationship with ourselves.
Yeah.
Like coming to that song myself, I really like sort of like the gentle, soft, how would you say, sort of spacey production. Like it sort of gave me the Kid Cudi vibes of how as an artist you're developing and discovering yourself just through expressing yourself musically. Bro, that was awesome. That song I've been jamming out heaps. And like I said to you earlier, I had a huge deja vu last night listening to that on the way back home. And it really felt as though, the bro's sharing some really resonating ideas and messages, and I can really jump on board his support. Because, I wouldn't want to put my support or attention into someone that's just trying to flex about themselves, but you're really just sharing a real, true message. So props and kudos to you for that, bro.
Oh, cheers, man. I'm glad you feel that, and it's nice to know that the message is gradually reaching people.
It is.
Yeah, it feels like it's something that I carried for ages when I was traveling, and obviously only released the album now after being in New Zealand for like 8 months.
Yeah.
It's definitely been points where I've been like, fuck, like, is this gonna land? Is it gonna resonate with people? Like, what was the point of it? But I think the point really was just sowing seeds and seeing how they grow without feeling like I need to nurture them so much, because that's already happened within the process of creating and curating.
Oath. Yo. I really enjoyed the first song, Woeful Western Worries. Sort of, I felt, was your spoken word poetry on just, I guess, the typical modern day scenes, living in a wage slavery, having to work week to week, worrying about how others perceive you, being involved in this huge cultural conditioning that's going on at the moment, where everyone's trying to flex or present themselves as pixels on a black screen. So it was real. It was really real, the words that you were speaking in that, and that was a nice, I thought, sort of introduction to some of the vibes that you'll be putting out in the album that I felt in the later songs.
Oh yeah. I think like that one, like kind of just like the intro, which is the spoken word part, was just kind of happened. Kind of just wrote it, and as Eli was constructing the beat, I just found that it worked, like not needing any percussion, just a kind of unsettling piano kind of flowing with my words.
Yeah.
It just worked, and it just felt real natural. And then it goes into that kind of a little more relaxed boom bap sort of vibes. But I'm real happy with that song, and it's a nice introduction to Beryl and the album.
Yo. And then moving on to the next song, Django, which was the second song on Beryl. As soon as I saw the title, I would have thought, my first impressions was, as an artist, Sam is sort of recognising the change that's been upon himself, such as, identifying with the self, or being a victim, or, I guess, being controlled by cultural conditioning and things that are outside of ourselves. I really enjoyed the song Django, and I guess I was wondering, there's a line throughout the chorus, and it goes, to be empirical has always been the meaning. What were you trying to...
Always been appealing.
Has always been appealing.
Yeah.
So what is it about being empirical that has always been appealing to you?
So I feel like I was always skeptical when I'd written that, whether it actually made sense, because empiricism and to be empirical is something that can be used objectively for topics and subjects philosophically, not necessarily something I've heard in the context of using as oneself and as a person.
Yeah.
But the context I'm using it in is to be real, and that's something that's always been appealing.
For sure.
So, yeah, that's where that comes from, and I guess just trusting myself in what I had written. In reflection, it's like, okay, yeah, no, I am happy with that. In reflection, and it does make sense. I've made it make sense in the context I'm using it.
Make it make sense, brother. Oh, yo. And then also throughout Django, there were some lines that you were spitting that was sort of touching on when you see someone that is, you know, out of sort of like a random event, or you see someone as out of like a random interaction, and then that small interaction left a mark or an imprint on you, as in you'll remember them just from that random thing. And I like that because it's sort of presenting the idea that you know no one really knows what's going to happen each day, but those random things that do happen, you know, out of the unknown or out of the predictability, they definitely leave an imprint on you. So how would you comment on, you know, in this sort of day and age, we're all sort of programmed to live the same week to week and, you know, follow the same routines. So in your experience, I assume that you've also gained a lot out of the unknown or out of randomness or out of unpredictability.
Yeah, I think I thrive in that. Like, as much as I crave a routine and a regulated life, I don't at the same time. Like, I like the randomness, and I like the fact I'm here living in Aotearoa, Christchurch, and I didn't plan coming here, and I didn't plan to be, you know, integrating myself into life here and the music scene here, but that's happened, and it's happened like it was happening out of my control, but I'm really grateful for that. So I think by taking myself out of the comfort zone that I was in within the UK, like I had a pretty stable job, although it was quite straining on me physically and mentally. When I was on a decent salary, I was like, you know what, I need a little bit more from life, and I wasn't sure, I'm still not sure what that is, but by taking myself out of my comfort zone and moving to a new place and packing everything up and, you know, traveling across the world with just a backpack, and now finding myself in a position where I've got, like, I'm in a relationship, very kind and caring relationship. I have a great relationship with myself. I've been able to have a car to travel around. I've got multiple jobs and, you know, material items that make me feel at home in the space I'm in. It's like, fuck, I couldn't have predicted that. And yeah, just gratitude for to be in this position, because I feel like it could have been easy for me to stay in the realm I was in, but I wasn't happy with that. Something within me wanted more.
Yeah, for sure, bro. That's a great answer. And yeah, I mean, I'd just like to add to your answer that for me, myself, most, I'd say, if not all, my best personal experiences have been out of expectation, been beyond the known zone, you know, in the unknown, where we don't know what's going to happen, but what does happen will definitely phase us for the rest of our lives. And then coming back to, as you were saying, sort of the relationship with yourself, in the song Glacier, there was some, you know, I'm just going to say it again, I really enjoy your sort of your soft, gentle delivery on really important, powerful words. Like throughout Glacier, there was a line that I really liked, and it's be honest with yourself. And then leading on from that, it's also, you said, recognize your wrongs as you celebrate your rights. And that, to me, that was like a great touch on, I guess, this dualistic paradigm of life and death that we're living. You know, we're all good and bad in different times. We're all hot and cold. We're all joyful and full of pain. So to you, what were you trying to bring out in the song Glacier?
Glacier was actually the first track that me and Eli wrote together, and it was actually the catalyst for the whole project itself. Like, I'd seen Eli had sent me some beats, and I was like, oh, these are cool. And he was like, oh, let's, you know, come to mine, let's work on some music. And within the few weeks that he'd, you know, got in touch with me, he then posted a video of his Amiga computer running like the 4 channels that made the basis of that instrumental on his Instagram story. And I was like, bro, this beat is nuts. Like, oh my God, I really connect with it. And yeah, I think we just got together in the studio and started writing. I started writing some like raps, which the first bar is like lesson one, kick pushing through the Potter gate. Nan's house is over there. God bless her fate. And that was like Potter gate is like an area in Norwich where my grandmother used to live. And there's like a really cool underpass tunnel that has like graffiti in, where me and my mates would like skate in quite a lot. And I'd always skate through that on my way to college when I was like 16 to 17 or 16 to 18. And yeah, like kick pushing through the Potter gate. And then like thinking about my grandmother, who is Beryl. Like the album is titled after her.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of like subconsciously was the catalyst for naming the project naming the project Beryl after her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of touches on feelings of loss of like my grandmother, who was like a real maternal figure to me, but then also touches within like, I guess, loss that I've had romantically and loss of myself as a person just throughout my life. Like losing the sense of self.
Yeah.
So through Glacier, it's like, I think I'm just channeling multiple feelings of loss and reconnection with oneself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that is life. Obviously, to us a paradigm to recover anything or find anything to greater depth. You got to lose it first, because usually you don't know what you got until you lose it.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Hey, speaking about potential losses and romance, the next song on the album, a song 4, I found that quite refreshing because it wasn't as I thought it wasn't as deep and profound as some of the other tracks. I thought it was just used to I guess expressing maybe the sort of the silent side of you that was having those shallow romances with this girl or that girl.
Yeah.
So what was going on with the song 4?
Song 4 is like, so the sample that we used it from was like the track called Song 4. Or like Song 4 is part of the title.
Yeah.
And then we named it as Song 4, spelled like 4 numerical 4. And it's the 4th track in the album, so it just felt fitting. But for me, it's like, that song is like me reflecting on many past relationships, not specifically one, and kind of just compacting down how I felt during those relationships, and kind of just like expressing points where I've been like just floating between like, oh, is this just like lustful pursuit, or is this deeper romantic connection and development, growth within the relationship and connection with that person, multiple people. As we all, you know, you gotta try before you buy, let's say. Like, let's put it that way. But it's just me kind of exploring my past experiences and relationships. Yeah.
I hear. That was great to hear, because I definitely feel as though romance in anyone's life is such a, if not the greatest aspect of anyone's life, because the partners that you find yourself with the greatest reflections of who you are. And it does take a male and a female to create a family. So in a sense, we all sort of born as halves. It's like we're sort of on our road, our journey to meet and reunite, live and express with our better half.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like that, 2 halves. We're all halves.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, for sure.
Then the 5th track on the album, got Myself, which is my favourite track on the album. Because I really enjoy the smooth delivery of the words and the importance of your relationship with yourself. I enjoy that sort of percussive drum beat that's running in the background here and there. I enjoy how it's not consistent, but when it comes, it sort of builds that momentum and keeps it as a nice vibe, it's sort of vibe throughout the whole song. And I love that at the track, the song Myself, you're talking about, you have a purpose, everyone has their own purpose.
Yeah. And you can love yourself.
You can love yourself, and there's no such thing as coincidence. Yeah, the grand scheme of things, no such thing as random. It's like we're living this great movie show of life and life. We get to be the actors in the show. So tell us, what were you trying to bring out with that track, Myself?
To be honest, I think that was like the second to last track that we wrote on the album. And to know, I felt like at that point we were wanting to write some more tracks for the project, but to like delve in a little deeper. Or a lot of the tracks are quite deep anyway. This is just kind of like a ballad to myself, a track I wrote for myself, but also something that I've written for other people to have as almost like a reminder, a benchmark to, you know, give like a gentle nudge to just, I don't know, listen to yourself and converse with yourself, because I felt a lot of time I've not spoken to myself in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And I've been very negative to myself. So that track is just like a reminder for me and for anyone who listens to it, if it does get through to them, that you can love yourself, and it's important to speak to yourself and converse with yourself, because if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, then you're kind of setting yourself up for failure.
Too right. You can't love anyone else to the same depth of love you felt with yourself. So yeah, once again, it seems as our most important relationship in our lives is with ourselves, because we will always have ourselves throughout our entire life.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And moving on to the sixth track, we got Last Time. And I really appreciate this track because you're really cementing up the idea of the only thing we have in life is the present moment. We don't have the past, we don't have the future. We merely just have what's around us right now. And that's such an important thing, because I do feel as though there's a constant, or there's a very prevalent mental illness throughout modern day world, and it's that, you know, my life will be better once I get this thing, my life will be better once I get to that place. But in the song, no, you're solidly reiterating that all that's important is the now, is the present moment. So how would you agree that that is all we have now?
Yeah, unfortunately, all we have is right now, and I'm grateful for the present moment. As much as I'm grateful for my past, and as much as I'm excited for the future, there's nothing more you can enjoy than the present moment, and making those experiences which you can look back on, and look back on with in a reflective way. But yeah, I think it's quite a grounding track, and it's something that I listen to myself whenever I'm feeling a little bit lost or distant from myself. And to reiterate what I said before, it's just super grounding, and focusing on yourself in not a selfish way, but in a self-loving way is super important, because unfortunately with social media we have like an insight to everyone and anyone's life that, you know, choose to show themselves on social media at any point in time, and it's so easy to get caught up in what other people are doing, and so easy to lose connection and lose focus on what you're doing for yourself. So I think you'll only live with doubt if you wish away the future and live in the past too much. So live in the now.
Too right. I feel like you can sort of summarize that to the more present you are, the more you are alive. The more you live in the past and the future, the more you will die. And it makes sense, because as Sam just said, we have is the now, and that's the only thing we should put our time into. I mean, obviously you've got to reflect on the past, you've got to make preparations and plans for the future, but primarily all our attention and focus should be on the now, because that's what we have the greatest influence and control over.
100%. 100%.
And then on the next track, was it Matcha was the seventh track?
Yes.
So what?
Yeah, oh God. Don't ask me the numbers now, but yeah. We'll go with 7th or 8th, I think. 8th.
So what was the vibe with Matcha? And what's the story behind the word Matcha? Is it off the Matcha to Matcha joke?
Yeah, so there's a cafe, this is not paid promotion, it's a cafe called The Curious Goat in Walthamstow in London.
Shout out to Curious Goat.
Shout out to Curious Goat. They take care of me and Eli. Walthamstow is actually where I lived with my parents before we moved to Norwich when I was younger. So to go back to Walthamstow and create the first album, first major project I've ever created was super full circle moment basically. But when we went to Curious Goat on the day that we wrote Matcha, for some reason I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna get a coffee, I'm gonna get a matcha. And yeah, the track's name Matcha, literally just on that fact that I got a matcha that day.
Did a pattern vote?
Yeah, man.
Pattern vote for the matcha.
Literally that. And yeah, we would go to Curious Goat every time we would make music together, because it was a real nice break. Leaving the studio in the morning to go get a coffee, go for a walk, activate your body, even just a short leisurely walk. But yeah, it became a real ritual for myself and Eli in the production process. And yeah, with Matcha, when we were making it, kind of just I was writing some raps to go along with the breakbeat, sort of my spoken word rap sort of vibe, and then Eli then took the drums out. Then I started kind of doing my singing of the chorus.
Yo.
Get the feeling I'm often dreaming of different days. Get the feeling I'm often dreaming of brighter days and wide awake. And it's that in itself is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I wasn't necessarily in the best place at the time, but now I'm here and I'm sitting in the sunshine, although it's midwinter, catching some rays, been for a swim, and the brighter days are here, the brighter days are now. So yeah, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, and continually there's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The days are only going to get brighter and more vibrant, and I'm grateful for that I was willing to trust myself to write that, put that out there, because now it is just unfolding as my life unfolds.
Yo, great answer. A self-fulfilling prophecy. Shucks. I bet when you were writing that track from the perspective of it, did you be up on this rock chatting about it just after a swim in a run?
No, that's the beauty of it.
Beauty of mystery.
Very kind and caring relationship.
Now, would you say in your time being an artist musically, expressing yourself musically, would you say that has been good therapy for yourself?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think I was actually in therapy. Shout out to my therapist, Nige. He's an absolute don. Very, very different approach to any other forms of therapy I've been in before. Very self-liberating. All he did was provide me with tools to understand myself and look after myself. And I think it was kind of maybe during the therapy I was going through that I then felt a sense of freedom within my own writing. So I was trusting myself and trusting my process of writing and expressing myself. So yeah, I was able to bleed everything that I felt was quite pent up within myself, or I wasn't sure how to express into the music that me and Eli put out in our album Beryl. It's a very it was a very freeing process, and yeah, in turn very therapeutic, as I felt more connected with myself than ever before, by bearing myself and being open on all the tracks.
And it's solid. And to anyone that is, unfortunately, most people to survive, to make ends meet, to have food on their plate, we all got to work, and most people are working full time. Would you have any advice to anyone that was sort of going through a similar phase to you back home, where they want to express themselves musically, but they're struggling to find the space and time to make that happen?
one thing I'd say is just don't give up and keep trying, keep throwing paint at the walls and hoping it sticks. There's many a times when me and Eli had spent like an entire day and an entire night working on something and it just didn't come to fruition. Like, I think there were probably like 18 tracks that we worked on in total, and we boiled it down to 12 on the album. But I wouldn't even say it's like, oh, keep consistent, because that's a very like, I feel like there's a narrative from people on social media and influencers potentially when it comes to being an artist, and they're like, just be consistent. It's like so much more than that. It's about turning up for yourself, turning up for what you're doing, and being truly passionate about it, and accepting that sometimes things don't work out, and that's okay. You kind of just have to push through it and try new ideas. So if there was anything I could say to someone that was in a similar position to me, just turn up for you, turn up for yourself, and it's going to sound cliche, trust the process, because it can be difficult and it's not meant to be easy. Definitely it's not meant to be easy, and if it's easy then you're not doing it right, for sure. It's got to be a battle, and it's got to be conflicting to come to an end result that you're truly happy with, I believe.
Great answer. I would have really taken a lot of inspiration from those books if I was a young youth trying to find the space. I am a young youth trying to find the space and time.
So am I, bro. I'm still trying to find it, man.
Hey, trying to find the space and time for the beautiful things in life. That is a mission. I recognise I'm going to be a bit time conscious. I don't want to hold it for too long. Skipping to the last track, Britain.
Oh, Britain.
So what was the vibe with Britain?
Oh, this is such a... I love this story for Britain. So Britain's probably my favourite track on the album. It's the last one we wrote, and I feel like there was a little bit of tension between me and Eli because we were running out of time before I was going to leave the UK, and we're still, we needed some more substance. We'd just written myself. We actually wrote myself and Britain on the same day, which is fucking nuts. Like the production, the lyrics, the recordings, everything was all in the same day. We were probably working in the studio for like maybe 16, 17 hours. But that was the day of the must have been, I think it was the Euros. I think it was the football, the World Cup. And England were playing Spain in the final. We booked a table at Carpet Shop, which is a venue in London, because lots of the pubs, were booking tables, putting tables out online for people to book to go and watch the football, because everyone wanted to go see England win. It was a scam, it didn't come home. But we didn't go out to the pub, even though we were going to. We were like, we'll just put football on the TV in Eli's room when we were working on the tunes. And we had a couple of beers. We had to stop making music to watch the football game. And then England ended up losing, I think it was 2-1 in the end on extra time or penalties. I don't know. The outcome was England didn't bring it home yet again. It seems to be a common theme. 3 lines on a shirt, we all felt hurt. But basically Eli found this piano sample, which to me just sounds like a lullaby that I never heard before, but it feels like something that was read to me or sung to me as a child. And England had just lost the World Cup final, and we were feeling a little bit low, feeling a little bit gloomy, but we were happy that we hadn't gone out and gotten really pissed to then be disappointed. We were just in the studio in the safe space, and just started writing the track and started writing the first kind of verse of rapping. It's like, this goes out to the beauty of life. The sun will shine all over the world, shows us through the depth and the dark of the night. The sun will always shine at the end of the night. And I hope there's always light at the end of the tunnel. We live each day inside our own little bubble. The sun will shine and the bricks will tumble. This world we steward will just be rubble. And that was just me having a little bit of an existential moment. Country's football team had just lost the World Cup yet again. I was like, fuck, feel let down. But then I got to the chorus, and like during all of this, Eli's like manipulating the beat and creating the canvas for me to write these lyrics to. So massive props to him, a massive shout out to him as always. But I ended up landing at this chorus where it's like trusting in this world, trusting in this faith, trusting in the sun that will make it all okay, trusting in the world, trusting in the faith, trusting in the sun will make it all okay. And yeah, I don't think I need to unpack that so much. It's just my outlook on life and me trusting my process and trusting the process of my life. But yeah, it was titled Britain, literally the result of like, you know, England losing the World Cup and us all feeling a little bit doomy gloomy about it. But yeah, it just kind of came to fruition out of like a negative, you know, and we turned it into a positive. We turned it into the finale of the album, which to me is just so special. So special. I don't really have too many words about it. I feel like the song speaks for itself, and I'm more than proud of it.
100%, though, great answer. Yeah, really nice to hear some of the origin story of that last track that closes out the album. Yeah, like that's awesome, turning a negative, you know, instead of going out to the pub and meeting person and disappointed and all that, you kept it chilled back at home in a safe space in the studio.
Still had quite a few cans and smoked quite a bit of hash, but you know, it's alright. All of the balance, right?
All of the balance, right? Yeah. And then my last question for you regarding the album, bro, is out of all the songs and all the tracks and all the poetry you wrote, which set of lines throughout the album is your favourite? It means the most to you. That's a fair bit of a question.
Yeah.
So don't feel too rushed to answer.
I think from just like a neutral perspective, it's really hard for me to answer that because certain tracks have certain connotations and feelings depending on my mind state and where I'm at, how my day's been, how my week's been. But I'd say probably oh damn, this is a hard question.
To you right now.
To me right now, it'd be torn between myself and the line where it's like, Sam, you can love yourself, there's really no one else. Maybe I'm projecting what society's reflecting. But also within Glacier, on my like, when I'm signing off on the kind of spoken word notes to myself, it's like, I've been disloyal, I've been disrespectful, can't neglect this, I'm accountable, you should be too. Because like, I'm not a saint, no one's a saint, and we shouldn't kid ourselves trying to pretend that we're all saints. But you can acknowledge and be accountable for your rights and wrongs. So yeah.
Great answer. Yo. Now out here in the O3, blessed to have Sam interview on the road just before, maybe like 6, 7, 8 hours before he performs his album Beryl, live at Evil Genesis tonight in Christchurch.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Big props to Jostien, man. Thank you so much for the energy. Appreciate your steady pace on the run this afternoon.
Yeah.
Had a cheeky dip in the ocean as well. And it's midwinter here in New Zealand, although we're in July to all the Northern Hemisphere homies. It's actually kind of cold here, but realistically it's fine. The sun is shining, the weather is sweet. Yeah, feeling super received, and yeah, just stoked to keep the ball rolling.
Yo.